Welcome back, ladies, gentlemen, boys, and girls, to this installment of JJN.
This week, we have a lot of fun stuff planned for you. But first, a story about feet from Pastor Caleb.
Well, hello, kids. It's me, Caleb, and I'm back to tell you guys about Jesus. And so, what we're talking about today is gentleness. And so, I want to read you guys a verse about Jesus when he's talking about who he is and how he's talking about how he's gentle. So, in Matthew chapter 11, verse 28, it says, "Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." So Jesus is telling us that he himself, he is gentle and he's humble. So Jesus, the King of the universe, is now saying, I'm this low, gentle, humble servant of yours. And now I'm going to read you guys a story of how Jesus was actually a humble servant to his very own disciples. So if you turn to the book of John in chapter 13, I'm going to start reading. In verse 1, "It was just before the Passover festival. Jesus knew that the hour had come for him to leave this world and go to the Father. Having loved his own who were in the world, he loved them to the end." So Jesus is like, my final days are coming here on earth, and I'm going to love these people until the very end. The evening meal was in progress, and the devil had already prompted Judas, the son of Simon Iscariot, to betray Jesus. Jesus knew that the Father had put all things under his power, and that he had come from God and was returning to God. So he got up from the meal, took off his outer clothing, and wrapped a towel around his waist. After that, he poured water into a basin and began to wash his disciples' feet, drying them with the towel that was wrapped around him. So here's Jesus, remember this King of the universe, this Son of God who came down, and now he's taking off the towel around his waist, and he's pouring water over his disciples' feet, and he's washing them. He came to Simon Peter, who said to him, "Lord, you are going to wash my feet?" Jesus replied, "You do not realize now what I am doing, but later you will understand." "No," said Peter, "you shall never wash my feet." Jesus answered, "Unless I wash you, you have no part with me." "Then, Lord," Simon Peter replied, "not just my feet, but my hands and my head as well." And Jesus answered, "Those who have had a bath only need to wash their feet. Their whole body is clean, and you are clean, though not every one of you." For he knew who was going to betray him, and that was why he said not everyone was clean. Now at the end here, when he had finished washing their feet, he put on his clothes and returned to his place. Jesus starts talking to them here, and he asks them a question. "Do you understand what I have done for you? You call me teacher and Lord, and rightly so, for that is what I am. Now that I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you also should wash one another's feet. I have set you an example that you should do as I have done for you. Very truly, I tell you, no servant is greater than his master, nor is a messenger greater than the one who sent him. Now that you know these things, you will be blessed if you do them." So Jesus is asking, do you understand what I'm doing? You guys call me teacher, and you're right for calling me teacher because that's who I am. I am above all of you guys. But then he's saying, do what I have done for you. And Jesus gives us an example of washing his disciples' feet. And he's saying, this is what now you need to be like. Don't think that you're so far beyond everybody in this world that you can't serve somebody and do something like washing somebody's feet. So Jesus tells his disciples, go and do likewise, love one another, and go wash other people's feet. And I will tell you that having your feet washed by other people actually feels really nice. Ooh, can you get that spot right there?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's great.
Remember, here on JJN, we don't just tell the news, we make you tell the news. So take a minute to pause the video and talk about what you just learned. Welcome back from that break. Ugh. Someone had to clean his feet. I did not want it to be us.
They were rough.
Will we go wash our hands? Let's go over to Mrs. Odell with a memory verse.
Hi kids, it's Mrs. Odell again. We're down in our sheep pasture with, not my sheep, but a friend's sheep. You may not know this, but you had a shepherdess in your midst at church. We've had sheep for about 10 years, but we're taking a break from them now, and so we're just sheep sitting for some friends. So it's been a few weeks that you've been studying the characteristic of gentleness, the fruit of the Spirit of gentleness. And so I thought you guys are probably pretty well got this verse memorized. So I was going to kind of do a little extra teaching about sheep and flocks and other stuff. So this old gal is an old gal. See, she's got a gray nose there. And she actually just had some lambs, but her lambs are over at our friend's house because it was time for her to stop nursing her babies. So you may or may not see a little motherliness back there in the back where she was nursing the babies. Anyway, our verse is Isaiah 40:11, and I'm sure after 4 weeks you guys have already got it down, but we'll go through it a couple of times just to be sure. He tends his flock like a shepherd. He gathers the lambs in his arms and carries them close to his heart. He gently leads those that have young. That will be the mamas that have little babies. Isaiah 40:11. So I was thinking, when was the last time you said the word tend or tends? I bet you guys don't use that word very often. So I was looking that up. So to tend means to watch after, to pay attention to, or a flight attendant takes care of you and attends to your needs. So as Jesus tends his flock of ornery sheep, like you and me, he's watching over them. Because sometimes they can be kind of grumpy, foolish, stubborn. Sheep are really stubborn. See, she's trying to butt me. She's trying to butt me. And then another form of the word is tender, which goes with our theme of gentleness. Do you want somebody to be tender to you when you fall and scrape your knee or stub your toe or have an owie? Or do you want somebody to be tough? Tough it out. Just get over it. No, we want somebody to be tender and scoop us up and carry us in their arms, close to our heart, like this old girl. So this verse I thought was really wonderful to show us how God shepherds us. So the verbs in this verse, he tends, he watches over, he gathers, he keeps track of us, doesn't let us get too far, he carries us, and he leads us. So God is all about really being very personal to each of us. And I just thought that was really amazing. So there's some other sheep over here. These guys don't really know me because I'm not their shepherd. These are my friend's sheep. And so the only reason this one's here is because I caught her. But God wants to have that relationship, that intimacy with each of us. And He wants to deal gently with all of us. So here, let's do that verse one more time. Isaiah 40:11. He tends his flock like a shepherd. He gathers the lambs in his arms and carries them close to his heart. He gently leads those that have young. Because it takes a lot of energy to grow a baby. When those mamas are nursing babies, they get pretty tired, and she's not looking too good because it takes a lot out of you to make a baby. But God just takes care of each of us exactly the way we need. Even when we're scared, sheep are pretty scared. They're pretty skittery, which is why those guys aren't over here, because they don't know me and they're scared of us. But God is always taking care of us. He's a tender and gentle God who loves us.
Thank you, Mrs. Odell, for that awesome memory verse.
And thank you, Caleb. Or should we say,
You're welcome.
well, that is all. Make sure to have a good week, wash your toes, and check out the website.
We'll see you guys next week.